Why is gender-affirming care the option medical professionals choose? I know this is a controversial topic, but I grew up in an extremely religious household where we wouldn't dare discuss these things. Now as an adult I'm just trying to understand genuinely. And I may not use the right language. So I'm sorry in advance if I offend anyone. I cannot stress enough that my intention is not to attack anyone's identity, but simply to try to understand this ever-changing society we live in. With that being said, I know that my comparison sounds offensive, but I just want to explain how I see it so that hopefully someone can correct me and help me understand how this comparison is not the same. The part that I don't understand is altering one's body to match the mind. There's no other mental issue where we do this, such as prescribing plastic surgery for body dysmorphia. So I'm trying to understand why plastic surgery is a treatment option for gender dysmorphia. On the same topic, I don't understand gender. Why do people get to choose whatever gender they want to identify as? Wouldn't it be more healthy to align your mind with your body rather than attempt to align your body with your mind? Edit. It seems my ignorance lies not only in gender, but also in medicine. I don't see medical professions often and don't take any medication. So it seems I just did not understand all that treatment is really just medical professionals. Best guess at what will treat issues the best with the least amount of harm. Thank you again you all for breaking down my indoctrination. Final edit. Obviously this has blown up more than I expected it to. I'll try to reply where I can. But 1,000 comments is a bit much. Please feel free to message me if you're gender non-conforming and are fine with me asking questions about your experience with that. Thanks again for keeping it civil here. Much love to you all. In conclusion, I've learned that gender-affirming care surgery is the best option because it's the only option available. Conversion therapy doesn't count as an option. I don't have much to add as so many people have left incredibly helpful and detailed responses already. But as a trans person I want to thank you for your kindness and open-mindedness. Seeing how you've responded to people in this thread is such a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of stuff I see on Reddit. It's heartwarming to see. The difference between mental illness and gender identity is that gender identity has a concrete result. Someone who was born female but feeling male will actually be happy once they have a male body. But someone with body dysmorphia will never be happy. There will always be something else to fix. I want to be female or I want to be male is the same as saying I want to have $10,000 in my account. I want to be prettier or I want to be skinnier is the same as saying I want to have more money. $10,000 is a solid defined amount that once reached is accomplished. However, just wanting more will always leave you wanting more. Thank you for asking you questions in such a civil and respectful way. In short, because it's the only one that works. Attempts at conversion therapy can do nothing but fail because you cannot forcibly change a person's gender. In contrast, gender-affirming care is impossibly effective, with a stunningly low regret rate compared to other surgeries' medical treatments. Because it does the least harm. Or, one might say, does the most good. A small but significant point: gender-affirming care is a broad term that encompasses much more than surgical or pharmaceutical interventions. A medical assistant referring to a patient using their preferred gender pronouns is also gender-affirming care. Just something to watch out for. As anxiety about medical procedures, particularly with regard to minors, is being exploited by politicians in some U.S. states to ban all forms of gender-affirming care. Medical treatment is all about how to better the quality of life for the person. In this case, transitioning does that. When people are denied that care, they end up killing themselves because of how miserable they are. IDK if this adds anything, but I spent almost 15 years of my life trying very hard to be a man like the body I had at the time told me. But I couldn't. So I transitioned, and now even on my saddest day, I am still infinitely happier than my happiest day trying to live like a man. Everything about this feels right. With estrogen, even my mind works better. I can actually be the best version of myself cause I no longer have to pretend to be someone I wasn't. And this has been the experience of almost all trans people. Being trans is about happiness. A second chance at life. It's society that causes much of the sadness and hardship. Very unpopular opinion, but maybe people should just be allowed to have bodily autonomy and change their body if they so choose. I choose every day to be trans, and I'm choosing to medically transition, and I have no doubt that if I was born into a different body I would still choose to be trans. Lily Alexander has a good video about why trans people. You were born some way that makes you trans, maybe not. I cannot know, and I choose to focus on the autonomy of it. I'm a woman with thick black facial hair. Getting is removed through plucking. Waxing or laser counts as gender-affirming care. I'm cis, so I don't have much to add. But I want to point out that cis people have gender-affirming surgeries all the time. I had a breast reduction myself and no one batted an eye about it. It's been an effective and proven treatment for patients. Whatever you feel apt trans PPL, you should understand that there's a level and standard of care that goes into any treatment, and gender-affirming care is no different. Not sure if it's been mentioned, but intersex children are forced into gender-affirming care by having the parent choose which gender they want the baby to conform to. Body dysmorphia can be treated with therapy, but gender dysphoria can't, and they'd rather transition people than have them suffer. I mean, most of the times it's a choice. Like there's certain changes to a body that supplements can't do, so they have to do surgery to feel like themselves. If there is only one God, then there is no male or female God. Why is it okay for God to choose his pronouns? We all accept he, him. Why is it so difficult for his followers when it's clearly a core value? Because it works reliably and damn near 100 of the time, with maybe a 2 desistance rate at most. Last I remember, if someone offered you a pill that cured your insert lifelong crippling health issue here with a 98 success rate, you'd probably take it. Transition is that treatment. I have never quite understood that either. I can't speak for everyone, but anecdotally every post-transition trans person I've ever met still had profound mental health issues. And working in emergency medicine, we come across quite a few. That depression doesn't seem to just go away post-op. Every third comment on here is seemingly doctors get paid to do it. They make money off transitioning people. You guys realize that only applies to America, right? You can get gender-affirming care in many European countries too, and the doctors don't get paid any more for doing so. And it's no less common. So obviously the money isn't a factor. Trans people are all over the world. This isn't specific to any culture or medical system. The only impact is whether the trans people are safe to be themselves, or if they are forced to live in secrecy and misery. They've always been there, just like gay people. Only now people are paying attention. Attempting to align the mind with the body does not work and is harmful to mental health and well-being. While gender-affirming care factually improves mental health and well-being,